Have you ever been in a room where the moment someone steps in, everything just stops? Not because of fame, not because of noise, just the sheer presence of this person makes everyone pause. Instinctively drawn to them, it's as though the atmosphere itself recognizes their power. This isn't the kind of power that shouts, demands attention, or intimidates with threats. No, this is the quiet kind of power, subtle, unspoken, but undeniable. Imagine someone walking into a room, not with a boastful stride, but with a calm, deliberate pace. The mere fact that they are there makes people think twice before crossing them. This isn't the frantic rush of someone trying to prove something. It's the silent assurance that you are untouchable. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." The truly great don't seek vengeance. They don't display emotion. In fact, their very presence causes fear, not because of what they say, but because of what they don't say. It's the silence that commands respect. Let's break this down. When you walk, how you walk matters. Picture a lion gliding through tall grass. There is no rush, no panic. It's a walk of purpose. And it's not the lion who is afraid. It knows its power, and the world bends around it. Imagine the opposite. Someone walking hurriedly, eyes darting nervously, shoulders slumped. Now, who do you think inspires more fear? Powerful people don't hurry. They don't rush through life. Every step they take speaks volumes. They maintain their posture, straight back, shoulders relaxed, and a calm demeanor. I am exactly where I need to be. This is the energy they project with each step, and it's felt by everyone around them. Seneca, another towering Stoic figure, once wrote, "A wise man is never in a hurry, for he knows that time is his servant, not his master." Picture that. When you walk, you are not just going from one place to another. No, you are projecting your internal peace and control onto the world around you. This is why the truly powerful never look rushed. They understand time bends to their will. A man governed by external factors, one who is constantly reacting to the world, walks hurriedly, filled with anxiety, but a man who moves slowly, with calm assurance, commands attention. His every movement is deliberate, calculated, as if he were a king, surveying his empire. The world slows down to match his pace. This is what we see in the greatest figures of history: Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Marcus Aurelius. None of them rushed. They walked as if they were the masters of time itself. The slow, confident stride is the mark of a person who knows their worth, and the world adjusts to them. But it's not just about walking slowly. It's about how you carry yourself. Your posture matters. Keep your shoulders level with your chin, and move with fluidity and precision. Don't dart your eyes around nervously. If you must look around, do so with the grace of a king surveying his kingdom. Every action should feel deliberate, intentional. When you walk like this, something shifts in the energy around you. People notice. They feel your calm, your confidence, your power. When you're not in a hurry, it sends a powerful message. You are not concerned. And if you're not concerned, it suggests you're in charge. After all, the human mind naturally looks for hierarchies. And when you move with that kind of assurance, you become the person everyone is subconsciously looking up to. As we dive deeper into this idea of powerful presence, let's explore how to build upon this inner mastery and maintain your control, no matter the situation. Continuing from where we left off, let's delve deeper into how subtle yet powerful actions can shape our presence. When you move with intention, people can't help but notice. They begin to think that you're the one setting the pace, guiding the room with your very presence. And distance commands attention. Their body language is a silent declaration. I belong here. Their walk, confident and measured, tells the world, I have nothing to prove. But here's the real power. It's not just about instilling fear in others. It's about cultivating your own power. The way you carry yourself, the way you walk, has a profound effect on your mindset. If you walk like a man who is in control, you'll eventually become one. Every step you take, deliberate and purposeful, shapes the way you think. You'll find yourself making better decisions, remaining calm under pressure, and exuding an energy that makes others uneasy in your presence. The more you embody this powerful energy, the more those around you will feel it. You'll project an aura of confidence that forces others to acknowledge your strength. When you're in a situation where people are sizing you up, observing your every move, you won't need to utter a single word. The simple act of being present will be enough to make them step aside. In those moments, your stillness, your calm, will speak volumes. Your mere presence will make them reconsider any thoughts of challenging you. Now, let's dive into one of the most important aspects of dominance: unbreakable eye contact. Have you ever noticed how some men can't maintain eye contact? They quickly look away, their gaze darting from side to side, as if searching for an escape. This lack of composure betrays weakness. A powerful man, however, when he locks eyes with you, you feel it. You feel a silent message radiating from him. I see you. I'm not afraid of you. But perhaps you should be afraid of me. To master this, never be the first to look away. Keep your gaze steady, calm, and unwavering, not out of aggression, but with quiet confidence. Let them break first. This principle was taught by the founder of Stoicism, Zeno of Citium, who believed that silence and a steady gaze could often be more terrifying than any shout or loud threat. Try it for yourself. You'll see exactly what he meant. Eye contact is a primal signal, one that existed long before words or social structures. It was the way our ancestors determined who was the predator and who was the prey. In nature, when two animals lock eyes, it's more than just a stare, it's a test. The one who breaks contact first shows submission. The one who holds his ground, without flinching, sends a clear message. I'm in control. I'm the dominant one. This principle still holds true today. Whether in a high-stakes business meeting, a tense street confrontation, or even a casual conversation, the one who holds steady eye contact is the one who holds the power. But beyond just asserting power, eye contact is also about control. A weak man avoids it because he's uncomfortable with himself and uncertain of his place in the world. It's his way of hiding, of avoiding judgment. The next time you find yourself in a situation where your presence is being evaluated, remember, it's not just your words that matter, but the way you carry yourself, the way you move, the way you stand, and most importantly, the way you look someone in the eye. As we move forward, let's explore another powerful principle of mastery that transcends body language. Are you ready? Continuing from what we discussed earlier, true strength is not just demonstrated through actions but also in how we face everything around us. In this world, there are people whose mere presence makes others feel their power, without the need to say a single word. So how can you become one of those people? A strong man responds to everything around him with the unwavering confidence of someone who has nothing to hide and nothing to prove. First and foremost, I want to make it crystal clear. This does not mean you should stare someone down like a hunting dog chasing a rabbit. Aggression is a sign of insecurity, and that is precisely an example of weakness. True strength comes from tranquility. It remains unshaken. It doesn't need to assert itself or impose on others. It is the inner fortitude that doesn't require action. When you make eye contact with someone, do so naturally, without building any tension. Your face should be calm, your body should be relaxed, and your breathing should be slow. This will allow you to maintain control in any situation. You might not need to say a word, yet your presence will make others feel the strength you possess. This silent power has an immediate effect. When people are around you, they will hesitate. They will begin to question their own judgment, since they are not used to someone seeing them for who they truly are. It will make them feel uneasy. This is why weak men often avoid eye contact, because on some level, they know they will be exposed. Now, let's take it to the next level. Imagine you're in a stressful situation, and someone is trying to confront you. In this moment, you should maintain eye contact, but remain silent. The key is to make them feel the weight of your silence. The pressure of your unshakable presence should cause them to squirm and struggle. Observe how they will retreat on their own, without you needing to do anything at all. You may have heard the saying from Seneca, "He who is calm in the storm commands the sea." Your unflinching gaze is that storm. For those who are weak, it is unsettling, but for those who perceive power, it speaks volumes. You don't need to speak louder than you already do. There's no need to argue or explain yourself. Just a single glance, and the world will react accordingly. This leads us to another essential point. Own your space. Never shrink yourself. Have you ever noticed how weak men tend to minimize themselves? As if trying to take up as little space as possible? They hunch their shoulders, cross their arms, and curl their bodies inward. The opposite is true for powerful individuals. The space around them belongs to them. Their feet are planted firmly, and they stand tall. They don't fidget or shift uncomfortably. When they move, they do so with purpose and grace. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you have mastery over your body, you inspire respect in those around you. Look at how a monarch sits on his throne. Can he shrink himself when he relaxes his shoulders? Does he hunch over or tuck his hands between his legs? No, he sits with his arms spread wide, as if the entire air surrounding him is his. This is what it means to take ownership of your space, to occupy the space that is rightfully yours. Without apology or reluctance, weak men tend to shrink themselves. The way they huddle in corners with their arms crossed and chins tucked creates the impression that they are trying to disappear. They don't feel entitled to the space they occupy, and this lack of confidence prevents them from gaining the respect they deserve. So remember, true strength doesn't need to be expressed through words or hasty actions. It is shown through your presence, your ability to control your body, and the space you claim as your own. Most importantly, it is the quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove anything. A strong presence doesn't need to be loud. You just have to dare to stand firm and maintain a powerful silence. The world will naturally step aside. So why do many people choose to shrink away, to withdraw, as if they wish to disappear from the world? Simply because they are afraid of being observed. They fear the gaze of others as though it were an X-ray, exposing all their flaws. They don't want to be in conflict, not because they seek peace, but because they fear being judged. Deep down, they hold onto a fragile hope. If they make themselves small enough, if they stay silent and shrink away as much as possible, the world will leave them alone, without even noticing. But unfortunately, the world does not respect those who hide away. It respects those who stand firm, those who hold their ground and dare to be present with full strength. Imagine this. You walk into a strange room, full of people chatting away. In that first moment, you need to assert your right to be there. You don't need arrogance. You don't need to show off. But you must demonstrate that you belong here. You have a right to be in this space. And that starts with your body posture. Stand tall, keep your back straight, and don't let your shoulders become tense. Instead, relax them but don't slouch. Your shoulders should be broad, as if you're wearing an invisible cloak of confidence. Don't fold your arms across your chest. That's a defensive gesture. Don't shove your hands in your pockets either. It makes you appear like you're trying to hide. Instead, let your arms rest naturally at your sides. It's like saying, I don't need to defend myself. I am not afraid of anyone. When you sit down, don't hunch up like a leaf caught in the rain. Don't hunch forward, and don't keep your legs tightly together like you're afraid to take up space. Sit up straight, lean back slightly, keep your legs apart in a comfortable way, not too wide, but not constricted either. One arm can rest on the arm of the chair or your thigh, casually, not stiffly. Your posture is a silent but sharp declaration. I am here. I am part of this space. You don't need to sprawl out or claim the entire room like an arrogant fool. All you need is to not hide from yourself, and others won't dare look down on you. The key here is, this isn't just body language, it's psychological communication. When you expand your stance, stop shrinking, you send a powerful message to your brain. I control this situation. And here's the miracle. When your mind believes you are in control, your body will naturally follow. Confidence rises, fear vanishes, and then something incredible happens. Others begin to sense it too. Have you ever noticed how people around you react? When you stand tall, when you are fully present with strength, they'll subconsciously look at you longer. They'll give you space. They'll listen to you, even if you haven't said a word. People often speak of Julius Caesar as one of the most influential figures in human history. But what made him special wasn't his army or political power, it was his unwavering presence. Even when he was surrounded, betrayed, or facing threats to his life, Caesar never flinched. He didn't allow fear to define his posture. He understood that a true leader is not just someone with power, but someone who embodies power. And that's what you need to bring into any space, whether it's a meeting, a party, or just walking through a crowd. Don't let your instincts cause you to shrink. Don't pull away like a leaf avoiding the wind. Instead, try this simple test. Each time you step into a crowded space, hold your stance firm, back straight, shoulders relaxed, eyes steady, walking with purpose. You'll notice something interesting. People will give you space, even though they don't know why. It's your unwavering presence that makes them feel that you have something worth noticing. Because, after all, power doesn't always come from wealth or physical strength. Sometimes, it's as simple as owning the space you occupy. The person who controls their space is the one who controls the room. And the next thing you need to remember, the art of stillness. Move less, control more. Imagine a confrontation between two men. One of them is shifting his weight constantly, chatting quickly, glancing around, and flailing his hands. He's never still for even a second. What about the other? He hardly moves at all. His breathing is slow and steady. His body is motionless. His gaze is calm. His entire being seems like a statue, not because he's afraid, but because he has absolute self-control. Between these two, who seems more powerful? The answer is clear. It's the one who is still. Because not everyone can remain still when everything around them is chaotic. The one who can maintain their position without reacting is the one in control of the situation. When someone tries to provoke you, try standing still. Don't speak. Don't move. Let your stillness become the mirror that reflects their lack of control. Your stillness will make them uncomfortable. It will make them impatient. Because power doesn't lie in hasty actions, but in the ability to control your responses. The less you react, the more you're in control. The more you remain silent, the more your voice will be heard when you speak. The more you stand still, the more the world will revolve around you. And if you find these power moves helpful, go ahead and click that subscribe button now. Because ahead of us, we still have 4 more power moves left, and the final one will completely change the way people perceive you. Remember, stillness is a weapon, a silent strength that people often overlook, but anyone who masters it can command the room with just a glance. Continuing from our previous point on the power of stillness, let's dive deeper into how even the smallest movements can reveal everything about a person's inner state. This next power move is all about control, and it's something the majority of people completely overlook. The quiet power of composure. It's astonishing how most men unknowingly give up their influence just through fidgeting, exaggerated gestures, or nervous movements. These actions reveal their discomfort and lack of control, even when they don't say a word. Meanwhile, a man who can remain completely calm, steady, and in command of his body, doesn't need to utter a single word to assert authority. He exudes power simply through his presence. Take a moment to think of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most revered philosophers and leaders. Whether in the midst of battle, leading the Senate, or dealing with betrayal, he never allowed his emotions to dictate his actions. He understood that true power doesn't lie in the force of aggressive movement or emotional outbursts, but in thoughtful, controlled composure. His adversaries would rush around him, reacting to every shift in circumstance, while he remained as steadfast and unmoving as a mountain amidst a raging storm. Now, here's a challenge for you. The next time you're under pressure, whether in a heated argument, a negotiation, or simply an everyday situation, resist the urge to move or react. Keep your body relaxed, maintain slow and steady breathing, and wear a neutral expression. Let them expect something from you. Don't give them the satisfaction. Don't flinch. Don't fidget. Don't make any sudden movements. In fact, when you do this, you'll notice something fascinating. Most people are not accustomed to stillness, and it makes them uncomfortable. They have no idea what you're thinking. They can't decipher your intentions. And in this uncertainty, you gain control. The moment you stop reacting, you make the world adjust to you, not the other way around. Think about it like a game of poker. Every time a player shifts in their seat, scratches their face, or shows any sign of discomfort, they unintentionally reveal their hand. The real control at the table lies with the player who sits still, who shows no emotion, who maintains a steady rhythm in their breathing. This same concept applies to life outside the game. Peace is the true power, and from that peace, your composure will give you control over any situation. And when the time comes for you to move, to act, everything you do will be deliberate, purposeful, and impactful. There's no attention given to the man who is constantly on the move. He's like a leaf blowing in the wind. But the man who is still, when he moves, everyone notices. They know that every action is measured, deliberate, and potent. If you can master this, you'll not only make others around you nervous, but they'll also feel as though they never even had a chance. Now, moving on to the next power move, the smirk of absolute confidence. Most people are unaware of the profound power a simple smirk can hold. This isn't a sly grin or a nervous smile. This is the subtle, quiet smirk of someone who knows they are in control. When someone gives you a nervous smile, they're essentially saying, "Please don't hurt me." But when you smirk, you're silently conveying, "You have no idea what I know." It's a psychological tactic that speaks volumes without saying a word. Take Julius Caesar, for example. Even when faced with betrayal, he was known for his cool, almost amused expression. He wasn't feared because he was loud or threatening. He was feared because no one knew what he was thinking. His enemies couldn't predict his next move, and that uncertainty was what gave him control. Next time someone challenges you or confronts you in a tense situation, don't engage in a quarrel. Don't try to justify yourself. Just give them a smirk. Let them wonder why. A smirk is one of the most powerful weapons in psychological warfare. It says, "You're not a threat to me," while subtly asserting supremacy without any effort. This kind of power is subtle, effortless, and can change the way people perceive you. When you wield it correctly, you won't need to say a word, you'll have already won. Following the previous discussion about calmness and the invisible power it brings, let's explore one of the most subtle yet extremely effective power tactics, the smirk of absolute self-confidence. With such a high level of self-assurance, it is truly frightening to consider. Many of us, when faced with insult or provocation, can easily display our emotions, from anger, insecurity, to fear, all of which are clearly visible on our faces. But another man, one who is able to maintain a calm and indifferent expression, will leave you unable to predict what he's thinking. He's like an immovable rock, completely unaffected, without any worry. And this, indeed, is true power. You cannot know what he is thinking, and that makes you uneasy. Imagine yourself in a tense situation. Someone is trying to get under your skin, insulting you, or even challenging you, hoping you will react. For most men, they won't be able to hold back and will immediately raise their voices, or fight back by trying to prove their worth. But what about you? You do nothing. You simply smirk, a subtle yet powerful twist of the lips, conveying the message, "You cannot hurt me." No response, no words, just a powerful silence. And in that very instant, they realize something. They've already lost. This shift in power, from them to you, happens so quickly that they don't even see it coming. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This means you should never put yourself in the same position as those who are trying to provoke you. When you argue with them, or react emotionally, you are playing their game. And the moment you start doing that, you've already lost control of the situation. But if you remain composed, if you grin as though all of this is simply amusing to you, you will force them to play by your rules. That's why powerful people, such as leaders, warriors, or monarchs, never overreact. They understand that real power lies in the unknown, and a smirk is the perfect tool to plant seeds of doubt in the opponent's mind. What does he know that I don't? Why is he not feeling threatened? What is he planning to do next? These questions, in themselves, are enough to unsettle any adversary. Try it out. The next time someone tries to provoke you, resist the temptation to justify yourself. Don't engage in debate. Avoid defending yourself. Simply maintain eye contact and smile. Let the silence linger for as long as possible. Let them wallow in their own insecurity. You will know you've won when they look away, which is inevitable. Number 6. Ignore insults. Respond with silence. When dealing with a weak man, there is nothing more frustrating than someone who doesn't react to what is happening. Take a moment to pause when someone insults you. Observe them. Try not to flinch. Try not to respond. Let the silence hang in the air for a while. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his personal notes, "The opinion of others cannot harm you unless you allow it to." His words are still relevant today. Arguments are made by weak men. Strong men let their silence speak for them. Silence is a means of attack. It has a sharper edge than words, a heavier impact than insults, and a more devastating effect than any response. A weak man demands that you respond to him. He takes great pleasure in the belief that his words can influence you. When you respond to him, whether by arguing or becoming defensive, you are giving him exactly what he wants, proof that he has affected you. To continue the discussion about the power of silence and the importance of calmness, let's delve deeper into the power of silence in tense situations. When you say nothing, simply stare without showing any sign of being bothered or even amused. You force your opponent to face a terrifying reality. Their words mean nothing. Imagine a fool yelling vulgarities at a stone statue. No matter how loudly he yells or what he says, the statue does not move. It does not care, and it does not react at all. Eventually, the fool will appear insane. This is an example of the same principle. Your opponent will appear like a child throwing a tantrum if you choose not to react to their behavior. There is a story about Scipio Africanus, a Roman general, who was humiliated in front of his soldiers. Instead of responding, he merely chuckled and walked away from the situation. He was humiliated, not because of anything Scipio said, but because of what he refused to say. His soldiers followed him, while the person who insulted him stood there, humiliated. This is the essence of the power of silence. The majority of men fear silence. They believe they must fill the gap with defenses, explanations, and counterattacks. However, moderation is the key to great strength. When you stop defending yourself against every minor insult and stop justifying yourself, you enter a new level of control. Try to slow down the next time someone attempts to provoke you. Let the insult linger in the air for a while. Maintain direct eye contact. Keep quiet. Observe how the tension rises. Pay attention to how the person who insulted you starts to squirm and feel uncertain about whether they made a mistake in doing so. They thought they could drag you into their petty universe of disagreements and emotional outbursts. But you are above that. When they finally look away, when they break before you do, you will realize something that most men never see. The one who speaks first in a conflict is often the one who is losing. This is the deadly power of silence. Silence is unsettling. Most people try to fill it with nervous chatter. But those in positions of power know that silence compels the other person to think. It makes people question their own beliefs. Therefore, when you remain silent, others start to question whether they have already lost. Want to put this to the test? The next time someone makes a foolish statement, don't respond immediately. Take a moment, look at them, let the silence build. They will either begin to justify themselves or start to backtrack. In either case, you will come out on top. When silence is in its purest form, it is terrifying because it requires concentration. It is the absence of distractions and reassurance that causes discomfort. Silence is the most powerful statement that can be made in a world where everyone is yearning to be heard. It is a statement spoken in a quiet voice, conveying the message, I don't need to fill this space with words. I am in control of this moment. Consider the following scenario. You allow the other person to set the pace of the conversation when you respond instantly and fill every silence with words. The power of silence is a truly underestimated tool. It's not just about holding your tongue, it's about forcing others to confront their own actions, their own words, and the uncomfortable tension that arises when they expect a reaction that never comes. When you choose to remain silent, you shift the burden onto the other person. They are left to wonder what you are thinking, to question whether they've made a mistake or misjudged the situation. As time goes on, the silence begins to weigh more heavily on them. The longer you stay quiet, the more power you seize from them. It's as though you are a rock, unmoved by the ripples their words create in the air. You've likely seen it before. Someone makes a rash comment or a foolish accusation, and immediately the other person begins to scramble, desperately trying to justify themselves. It's almost like a reflex. They can't stand the discomfort of being unanswered. They know the significance of their own words, and so they rush to fill the void they've created. But this is when they make their biggest mistake. In this moment, when they try to speak louder to fill the silence, they lose their composure and reveal their insecurity. It's a subtle form of psychological warfare. In choosing silence, you're not simply avoiding a conversation. You're forcing them to face the consequences of their own actions. They will begin to question the validity of their own words, and soon enough, they'll break under the pressure of your calm, unshakable demeanor. Epictetus, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple yet profound observation underscores the power of silence. Remaining silent isn't just about keeping your lips sealed, it's about listening, observing, and truly understanding the moment. When you practice this, you can control the narrative without ever speaking a word. Imagine the next time someone insults you or challenges you in a conversation. Rather than reacting immediately, pause for a moment, let the silence settle. Notice how the atmosphere changes. Watch as the person who made the initial remark starts to squirm, either backpedaling or scrambling for justification. You haven't said a single word, and yet you've already won the situation. This is the lethal power of silence. You don't need to engage in heated debates or escalate an argument to prove a point. Mastering the art of quiet allows you to maintain control without ever raising your voice. When you've truly understood this power, you'll realize that silence is more influential than any words could ever be. And as we move on to another vital aspect of influence, dressing like you're in control of everything. Before a word is even spoken, your appearance speaks volumes. The way you dress communicates far more than just your style. It sends a message about how much you value yourself and how much control you have over your life. Sloppy, untidy clothes give the impression that you have no control, that you lack discipline, but clothes that are neat, precise, and well-tailored convey a sense of authority and respect. This was something that the Stoic philosopher Cato understood deeply. Known for his unmatched self-discipline, Cato always dressed with meticulous care. To him, how you present yourself to the world was a direct reflection of your inner self-control. Think about it. If you give off the impression that you are at the top of your field, people will treat you as such. Your attire is the first thing that people notice about you, and it carries a significant weight. What you wear isn't just about aesthetics. It's a powerful tool for influencing how others perceive you. Whether you're aware of it or not, your wardrobe tells a story about who you are, your confidence, and your level of self-control. We just talked about the power of silence and how it helps you dominate communication without raising your voice. Next, let's explore another equally important aspect: how you present yourself from the very first moment, through your clothing. Even before you open your mouth or show your personality, the world can already tell whether you are a man of order and discipline or a man of chaos and lack of control. Are you someone who demands respect, or do you just wait for it to be handed to you simply by the way you walk and carry yourself? Choosing your clothes is not merely a matter of personal preference. It reflects how you maintain yourself and how much you respect your own inner discipline. Think about Co the Younger, one of the fiercest Stoic philosophers in Roman history, not only in his ideas and actions, but also in his appearance. He showed absolute discipline. He was always neat, tidy, and impeccably dressed to every detail. Co had no intention of showing off or attracting attention through his clothes. Instead, he wanted to convey control, inner strength, and a mindset that was always orderly and composed. He knew that a man who presents himself precisely and neatly is not easily ignored or overlooked. Imagine yourself entering any room. Your clothes fit you perfectly and suit you absolutely, clean, sharp, and modest all at once. People don't need to ask questions. They immediately see that you have your life under control. You are not someone to be disregarded. You don't need to shout or exaggerate to get attention. Instead, you demand respect and give it to yourself. Most importantly, you decide how others will treat you by the way you look. And this is not about spending a fortune on expensive clothes. Let that be clear. Paying attention to details is key. The right color to match your skin tone, the right cut to suit your body shape, and the perfect fit. Your clothes should never wear you. You should wear your clothes. Your attire should reflect your values, your composure, your focus, and your self-control. Have you ever thought about how you feel when you are well-dressed? Or how others treat you when you are in a good mood? This is a clear distinction. A man who doesn't care will dress carelessly. On the other hand, a man who dresses like he's in command is sending a message. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. And I expect nothing less than respect from you. Next time you step out of the house, make a conscious effort to dress with purpose. You don't need a closet full of expensive suits. Just make sure your clothes fit well, are neat, and intentional. When you enter any room, you should look like you own that space, a master of your own world. True power doesn't come from shouting or threats. It comes from presence and confidence. Marcus Aurelius never had to raise his voice to control a mighty empire. The most feared men in history intimidated others even before they spoke a single word. That is the power of being precise, composed, and commanding, without saying a thing. We've just talked about how expressing yourself through your appearance can create power and respect from the very first glance. Now, let's move on to the next step to truly assert your presence in any situation. Once you have mastered these 8 power movements, you'll start to notice that people treat you differently. They don't just see you, They see someone worthy of respect and caution because you've clearly shown confidence and self-control. Have you ever realized that true power isn't just about words, but also about how you stand, walk, and carry yourself? And if you truly want to become untouchable, a symbol of strength and stability, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now. Because the journey is only just beginning, and the next secrets are just around the corner. Are you ready?